go through all of them, but I'm going to brief it and just do half of the PowerPoint, and then we'll do the second half when we meet again. So I want to start with, do some people have wrong motivation when they are interacting with the deaf community? What do you think? Why?
Want to be seen?
Okay, anybody else?
Say it again. I missed. I'm sorry.
Do some people have wrong motivation when they are interacting with the deaf community? Do people have the wrong motivation when they're interacting with the deaf community?
They have the wrong motivation when
Yeah.
they interact with the deaf community.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Why?
Some people feel the need to be a helper, or they want clout that comes with being associated with another
to have
group of people.
Rosalind sitting next to the deaf
Yeah.
person so we can see both at the same
Uh-huh.
time.
I missed what she said.
Bernice.
I just want to make sure that we're understanding with the sliding so that.
No problem, yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
answering the question.
Number
please answer,
one,
everybody
wait
can see it.
just a minute. I'm recording for Bernice. I need to have the interpreter sitting there so I can see her and Victoria at the same time. I
But
need to
then
see
you can't
yeah.
see the slide, so
Okay,
that's the problem.
But see, so I just sit here.
Yeah, I probably, yeah. How do you want this, Bernice? Because I can't see Rosalind. And Victoria at the same time. So I have to kind of go like this.
Okay, you want to stand right here?
Yeah, and then you go there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Brenda, you want to move a little bit? Yeah.
This is the deaf.
Because you're on a mask, please speak really loud because you're
I
muffled.
will,
Yeah,
no
okay,
problem.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Who was the last person that spoke? Now, hold it. The interpreter has a question. Because some people are speaking and signing at the same time. Do we want them to speak and I sign? Because if you're going to speak and sign at the same time, then you have to stand up so all can see.
I will put my hands down.
Okay. So she asked you, what did you say?
Oh, some people have the wrong motivation because they are either wanting to be labeled as a helper or have the clout that comes along with interacting with a group of people who are different than them because, especially right now, DEI is quite prevalent in the culture, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So if you're interacting with a group who will fall into that category, people may look up to you, and some people enjoy that.
Thank you. Kiara. She's working, she can take it.
Did
Okay,
I miss something? Oh, I meant,
okay. Next slide, please. What motivates you to accomplish this in the first place? What I mean by that question is, what motivates you as interpreter, deaf leader, to become involved in ministry in your church? What is your motivation behind that? So, yeah.
My motivation is God. God called me to deaf ministry. And
Why?
yes. That means yes.
When God called me. And when God calls you to deaf ministry, it's not, it's not about you. It's about God. It's about the people that you're reaching. And when you get discouraged, because God called you, you keep on going. So it's about God. When God has to call you to this ministry, not yourself.
Okay. Do you feel sorry for the deaf individual and wish to assist them? Let me say it again.
Yes.
Do you feel
No.
sorry for the deaf and wish to assist
No,
them
you're
in
not
their
supposed
needs?
to. You're not supposed to feel sorry for them.
Right.
You're
Hold it.
All right,
Because
let's
I didn't
see
finish
people
signing.
talking.
Hold it. And one person speak at a time. So she asked it again. One more time.
Thank you. Do you feel sorry for the deaf and wish to assist them?
No.
No. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, you're not supposed to. No. you're
Okay,
not
I just want to make sure we're all on one accord. Because everybody has different opinions and everything, so I can't make an assumption. That's why I asked this question.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say no, just like I don't feel sorry for people who speak French, Spanish, or Portuguese.
Okay.
Amen.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation, because when I first went to
Oh,
Malton.
wait a minute. Okay, hold on.
When I first went to Malton, and I went in the kindergarten class, I did start feeling sorry. I said, "Oh my God, these children!" You know, when I first entered in. But after that, after I continued, then it went away. But yeah, I think by nature, when we see even not only a deaf person but a blind person, we tend to feel sorry for them in some form or fashion.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because when you first meeting someone, you're gonna have a sense of compassion for them.
Yes.
To wonder, like, what is it I can do to meet their needs or assist them? That's why this question was valid, that I asked you guys, did you feel sorry for the deaf and the need to assist them? Not in a way to make them feel down or belittle them, or they can't do enough, they need me, they can't do it by themselves. So that's why this question was very valid to you guys and important to me as well. I want to read something. A deaf ministry at a church may be a tremendous gift. Deaf individuals are a distinctive group. Individuals live in the same neighborhood, shop in the same business, have the same appearance as the hearing individual. Deaf individuals, on the other hand, have a distinct culture and language. Oh, I'm sorry.
Deaf individual, so
Okay.
they shop in the same places.
Live in the same neighborhood and have the same appearance as the hearing individual. Deaf individuals, on the other hand, have a distinct culture and language. The deaf ministry cannot thrive unless the pastor has a love for deaf people. An effective deaf ministry must employ both heart and the hand. Effective deaf ministry have a desire to reach out and to educate deaf people and hearing people as well. Better interpreter, improved communication equipment, and more friends, and not most press the needs of the deaf individual. What I mean by that, not trying to enable them, but push them and motivate them to get out there in ministry, not only in ministry, but whatever the environment that you're around, whatever the case might be, it might be in the classroom. It might be in sports, not only just in church, but overall as well. Next slide, please. Audience interaction. So, these questions that I have up here are very important. I think we should have at least one interpreter at each table with a deaf person in order for us to do this interaction. So the deaf person will ask the interpreter these questions, and the interpreter will ask the deaf person these questions. I'll give you guys about 2 minutes, then we can all sit amongst each other in a group, and then I'll look for you guys answering what did you guys like from each other, from an interpreter and a deaf person. But I'll shut out the question because I know most people cannot see them. So for a deaf person to ask the interpreter, what quality do you believe makes you a good interpreter? Do you prefer literal translation or summarizing what your customer or your person
Should you
said?
do one at a time, or are you gonna read all of them?
I'm going to read all of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're
I'm gonna read all of them.
interacting already.
This is for the deaf to ask an interpreter. Could you please translate these phrases? So, how would you interpret a gesture or expression that does not have the same meaning for someone who does not share the same language or culture? So what I do to make it easy, I'll choose 2 questions for the deaf and two questions for the interpreter to make it easier on everybody once they get together and ask each other these questions. So for the deaf people, you're going to ask the interpreter what qualifies you to believe that makes you a good interpreter, and how do you interpret a gesture or expression that does not have the same meaning for someone who does not share the same language or culture. For the interpreter, you will ask the deaf person, what are some of the difficulties you encounter in church?
Good question.
What's on the what?
What is the most effective technique to communicate with someone who does not understand the sign language? That's for an interpreter.
I have a question.
Yeah. Any phrases, so you can make up a phrase and ask them and see if they understand what it is or what it means. Okay.
But you were just picking 2 questions for each person to ask. 1 or 2. So are we waiting, are we now?
Why don't we,
Yes, go ahead.
okay, so while they're pulling that screen up,
what we need to do is real important. This is a good exercise,
Yes.
right? Thank you, Victoria, because it helps us to be able to communicate and really, really you can't interpret for a group of people if you don't know what their needs are, right?
Right.
And their idea or understanding of what makes a good interpreter or what makes an interpreter clear and that they can understand you. So we really do need to do this exercise, and we need the input of deaf people. And sometimes deaf people, there's two groups. One that's real, like, tell it to your face, right? And then there's a group that's just wants to say feelings.
Who wants to say what?
Say the interpreter's feelings, like don't want to insult the interpreter. But if we're not honest, honesty is good, right? Because honesty builds good communication and it builds good relationships, right? It's not what you say, it's more or less how you say it. So you have to be honest. So if you're not honest with us, we can't grow. Okay? So let's do that. Let's separate. Let's have some interpreters over at this table, some deaf people at the other table. If you know your interpreter, switch out and find a different interpreter. Okay? That's a real deal. Alright? So let's do that. Come on, time. You know what? Time is, woo! We ate so long, time is gone. So let's switch out. Come on, let's move.
So the two of you gonna
Don't
work
be,
together, go ahead.
yeah, don't be scared.